Good evening.
Yeah.
Welcome. Steve Talks 321, episode number 8. Happy
Already.
Tuesday, January the 14th. Amazing. Time is flying by.
I can't believe it.
Time waits on nobody, right, Jesse?
That's right. Already the second week of 2020. I can't believe it's already here.
2020. Amazing. So 2020 so far. Resolutions and all the good stuff that normally comes with a new year, but we're turning a new decade, so we're starting a whole new decade here, 2020. So this is the second podcast of the year of 2020, and week in review. We've had a week full of just events, and last week, of course, the first podcast of 2020, I had Aggie Hall, Jesse's amazing wife, with Hippo Roofing. She was on, and we talked about roofs and all the added benefits of different types of roofs, and obviously the added value benefits to a home. And then we talked about Hippo Roofing and the services that they provide. It was a very informative show. We had a lot of positive feedback, a lot of views.
Lots of views, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good engagement, listen, roofing is one of those things that people just don't understand completely. So anytime you get really into a deep conversation about it and all the moving parts and how it works, it's going to create some interest.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had a lot of comments and feedback about how informative it was. So Aggie, if you're watching out there, thank you very much. We'd love to have you on again in the near future. Yeah. So this is one of the times of year that's always a favorite for me and probably many others. We have the NFL playoffs going on, and a few surprises, but a couple teams that are still in the running. I don't think people are too surprised about the 49ers and the Packers being there, and of course the Chiefs have been a favorite. One of the big surprises, though, was the Ravens getting knocked out by the 6th seed Tennessee Titans.
That was an upset, yeah.
That was amazing.
So did your favorite team get to the playoffs?
No.
Who is your team?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Duval.
Yeah. Duval. But speaking of Duval, I had a closing up in Jacksonville last week with a friend of mine who was in the Navy 24 plus years. And a big shout out to Mark, a.k.a. Duke. If you're watching, I'm sure he's busy unpacking and getting settled in the new house. But really, really nice house up in the northeast side of Jacksonville. All the best to you, Mark, if you're watching. And so getting back to the playoffs this weekend, we've got the NFC and AFC championship games. And those ought to be pretty exciting. We've got the Packers at the 49ers, and we've got the Titans versus the Chiefs in Kansas City, which is always a hard place to win. So
Arrowhead, right?
Arrowhead,
yeah.
Yep, Arrowhead Stadium.
They always have a home field advantage.
I got a good friend of mine who used to play for the Chiefs. He might be listening out there this evening. JJ Burden.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, JJ, one of their all-time best receivers. Great guy. He's actually doing some motivational speaking. He's a very positive influence out there. So. Yeah, good stuff. NFL football, I'm looking forward to that this weekend.
Yeah.
And
so who do you see in the Super Bowl?
Okay, so I'll make my official podcast prediction for Super Bowl 54. We are going to have an NFC team and an AFC team in the Super Bowl. That's
But, way to keep it generic.
But my serious
fun.
prediction will be 49ers and Chiefs.
Ooh.
But I actually kind of hope that we have a repeat of Super Bowl I, which is the Green Bay Packers and Kansas City Chiefs.
That'd be cool.
That's who I'm really hoping for. And, this is the 100th year of the NFL, celebrating 100 years. So what a way to throw back by going back to Super Bowl I.
That would be cool. A little rematch.
Yeah. Somebody on Facebook said, those guys would be kind of old, though. That's funny.
Yeah, not the original teams, I think.
Right, not the original teams. But so this day in history, speaking of history, this day in history, on January 14th. I'm first going to start off by saying happy birthday to my father-in-law, Chuck. If you're watching, Chuck, happy birthday to you. Happy, I'm going to guess now, 39.
Nice.
So, great guy. Hope you're watching, Chuck. I know he's tried logging on and getting on before, but I did share the link from Steve Talks 321 to my timeline. So if you're watching, and you've got some friends that are wanting to see this podcast or like my page and follow along, you can go ahead and share this. Just share it. Don't do a watch party. And here's why, guys. If you do a watch party and people are commenting on that, I can't see the comments. So if people have questions, they're bringing it in. Of course, you're more than welcome to do one, but that's just not the preferred way for me if I'm going to answer questions.
Right.
So please share it and let people just, view it that way.
Yeah.
But,
Make sure
this day in history, 50 years ago, 1970, Diana Ross and the Supremes performed their last concert together at the Frontier Hotel in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that even there anymore?
I don't believe so.
Yeah. Original Vegas is demolished.
Right.
So Diana Ross and Supremes, and were they still making hits during their last appearance?
I don't have that. I don't have that history.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering where they stopped touring that year.
I don't know the answer to that. I just know that this day in history was their last performance. But that's good stuff, though.
Yeah.
And maybe in the future we're going to have a pop culture, trivia, history, just kind of revisit some of the stuff from way back. And
Yeah. No. I dig it.
yeah.
I hadn't known. So now I got even more trivia in my head.
Yeah, I always enjoy, all right, this day, you just wake up, it's a normal day, it's a Tuesday, but there's usually a lot of stuff that happens on every day in history.
Yeah.
And we don't even really hear about it anymore because a lot of people don't listen to live radio anymore, and they used to do that on live radio.
Right.
I think they still do, like birthdays and things like that, but I don't know about, going back that far to actual events, unless it's, something like a holiday or something really, really, followed by the masses. So,
Sure.
But anyways, moving along. One other birthday shout out to a friend of mine, Tiffany Fortenberry. She's
Tiffany.
yeah, it's her birthday today too. So I know there's a few others out there that I'm probably not able to remember right off the top of my head. But happy birthday to all of you guys out there celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday. So one of the things I want to introduce, something new to the podcast, is my featured home of the week. And but before we get to the featured home of the week, I wanted to capture just something here about the stock market. Stock market recaptured an all-time high of 29,000 on the Dow. NASDAQ is over 9,300 and S&P is like 3,300. So all-time highs on the stock market. I'm sure everybody's 401k and retirement accounts are looking quite nice right now. Let's keep it going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Even cryptocurrency is responding.
yeah, everything is really doing well.
Yeah.
Let's hope that we can just keep it sustained, and obviously we don't want any bubbles, but
Yeah.
I think the economy is firing pretty much very well on all cylinders in all categories for the most part.
Yeah. I think we after 06 and 07 and the following, recession in 8 and 9, it's been a long time coming. I think for the last 10, 12 years, we've just been kind of winding up to get back to those glory days of 03 and 04 kind of prices and appreciated value. So finally, some people are able to have a little bit of positive equity and get from being upside down. So it's exciting times.
It is. So now moving on to the new segment that I'm creating here on Steve Talks 321 for the very first time on Steve Talks 321. It is our featured home of the week in Charlotte Estates, Viera, brand new listing 3778 Imperator Drive. And what a gorgeous home built by Joyle in 2015. And on screen, you will, for those watching on Facebook Live, you'll be able to see this. It is, Joyle Homes, over 2,600, 2,640 living square feet, tons of upgrades, quality built, quality crafted. The wide open floor plan concept that everybody really likes and wants for open entertainment, just an open, airy, bright feeling, 10 to 12 foot ceilings. There's some pictures on there. If you can scroll back to the picture area down below there you go. You can just kind of scroll through as you're displaying to the crowd. 10 to 12 foot ceilings. We've got the 8 foot tall doors and windows. Custom designed pool with a salt system, large covered lanai, really, really nice covered lanai with amazing views of the lake back there in the pool and incredible sunsets. It's a really, really nice floor plan, and the garage, it is a 2-car opening garage, but it has 563 square feet. So it can actually hold a golf cart plus 2 cars. There's extra storage in the garage. Up in the attic, it's decked. Just overall, just an absolutely gorgeous home. It's, I call it one of those, it's the right size home. I mean, it's a 3-bedroom, but it has this large study, so it could be a 4th bedroom. It has 2.5 baths, and the half bath is a good size pool bath. It has access to the patio, obviously to the pool, and it also makes a really, really nice interior spare bath close to the formal living area and close to the office. So that's why I say that could be a 4th bedroom. It's a 10 by 14 study.
Oh wow, that's generous.
Yeah, the master bedroom is a world of its own. It's got tray ceilings, crown molding, plantation shutters. The bathroom is incredible. Huge walk-in shower with double heads. You've got the big soaking tub and extra long raised vanity with granite tops. So I can go on and on, but the link there. If you guys are viewing the images online, you can always go to my website, stevesells321.com or steve321.com. That's an abbreviated domain. And under featured properties right there on the main page, you can pull that up and view it, share it with your friends. If you know anybody that's interested, let me know. I'll schedule a private tour and have a look at it and see if that's the right home for you. But yeah, great home. And also the price, $659.9. Lowest price pool home in all of Charlotte Estates. So
that's a good value. Knowing what they sell for, that's really good value.
Yes. All right. So, we talked about 2020 New Year's resolutions. We were all kind of gearing up like, all right, we have goals. We have personal goals, fitness goals, diet and health goals. And, or maybe you've got other goals. You've got things you want to do in your life or travel. You've got goals this year. But, this is the time of year where we're still getting going and we're working on our personal goals. But at some point, one time or another here in the springtime coming up, we either have home buyers or sellers. That's one of their goals is to buy a home or buy their first home or sell their home and move, either downsize or upsize. And so it's a really, really, busy time of year as far as people getting ready to do that. Usually starts after the first of the year. That's, phones start ringing and we've got people calling already, inquiring about listing and selling their home, and they're either, a few weeks out or a couple of months out. So that's going to be my first topic is your home, if you're selling your home, is your home fit to sell? A lot of people don't quite know what that means, but we'll dive into this and we'll talk about it. Does your home have a 6-pack of abs? So I put together, my top 5 tips. We'll keep it simple. Obviously, there's many variables in home preparation, but getting your home fit to sell. I try to keep this simple. Narrow it down. Five top tips. So Steve's top 5 tips. We'll start with number 1, Jesse.
All right.
And these are not in any like particular order. Which one is more important than the other? They're all important. So here we go. Decluttering. Okay. If your home is occupied, and you have the link to the article up there too, you guys can see and follow along. If your home is occupied, chances are you have, just like us, you have stuff. You have some cases extra stuff. You have stuff in closets. You have, things. Cabinets are full, and in the garage too. In some cases, some people can't even put their cars in their garage because they have so much stuff. A cluttered home, and this is a known fact. This is proven. A cluttered home is a major turnoff to buyers. There's just no way around it. If they can't walk into a room, if it's very cluttered, they usually just stop at the opening and the doorway, and they just go, okay. We'll just, we'll keep moving along. You don't want that. You want people to go into a room and just feel the openness of it and envision their stuff in the room, their taste. So that's number one. And I usually, if you have a lot of stuff, I say start planning your yard sale, your garage sale. Start packing up, donating, getting things out of there that, you're either not going to take with you or you really don't know if you're going to need it in the future. Good time to start planning that. What do you say to that, Jesse?
Oh, absolutely. I have a declutter person actually who I'll hire if there's somebody, that I don't want to use the word hoarder, but, some people just have a hard time parting with valuables and sentimental things, and it was his parents' home that was inherited by him, and they just had collections and collections of just archaic stuff, VHS and just, lots of old books, like an original leather binding, like some nice things, but just a lot of artifacts. And he didn't want to bring them, with him. So I offered we did an estate sale.
Right.
And then we had the decluttering girl come and make it all look nice and pack it so, the movers would have an easy time, because it was tough. It was tough to sell because of the condition. But once we got it right, it sold right away.
Right. Here's another thing too: is I have a seller that had a lot of extra important papers that years old. They don't need them anymore. Some people keep papers of important things, maybe for tax purposes or whatever. But once you're past that point, and your accountant gives you the go ahead to get rid of those things, whatever they are, or some people still receive paper statements. You can call out a company like Shred It. If you got like, I don't know, 4 or 5 box minimum, they'll come out for like $150, and you just give them everything, and they just shred it right there in front of you. And that's a good thing. Just get rid of it, because there's no point in keeping extra boxes of things around if you don't need them. But that was just one thing there about the Shred It. Number 2, major items. This is always a big one because, your roof is a major item, your AC systems, your hot water heater. If they're not up to par, if they're corroded, if the roof has got very worn shingles or small leaks, and you've got evidence of a leak, obviously you want to get all of those things fixed and up to par. If you need a new roof, you got to talk to a roofer, HIPAA roofing, obviously. But yeah, you want to get all that checked out. AC systems. These are top things that come up. Sometimes not always when you're trying to sell the house, but when you're under contract, they will come up.
Yeah, during the inspection period is where most surprises surface. So to avoid surprises, try to take care of some of those major just do due diligence. I actually have a inspector who will do a pre-sale inspection. That way, as a seller, you're not going to get blindsided. Like,
that's right.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know my water heater was on the brink
that's
of,
right.
Losing integrity and failing. So avoid the surprise.
That's right.
Just have
and I have some some people when I'm interviewing them to list, and they're like, well, we'll deal with that down the road, and we can always, negotiate or whatever. Okay, you can do
You
that,
could.
but usually, and it's just like if you're trading in a used car that needs everything on it, right? Needs a lot of stuff. The dealer is going to lowball you way lower than what those things cost you to do.
Right.
So in the house, in your house, you definitely don't want to take a hit if you don't have to. You're going to get a return on that. You're going to, most importantly, get the home sold. The first go around, you're going to get it sold without it falling through. You don't want it to fall through. So always important to get those things checked out ahead of time before you even hit the market. Of course, when I interview a seller and we start moving forward, I have a checklist of all of these things that I go through. Mm-hmm. I will do a visual, and if there's any kind of visual concerns that I think they need to have them addressed, I'll point that out. So we'll cover those things. All right, number 3, flooring. Very important because everything in the house is floored, right? You walking on everything in the house is floored.
Pretty much.
Yeah. If you have carpet and it's badly worn down, that's usually not a good thing. Replace it. If it's okay and it's just, needing a cleaning and the stains that are in there are light and they can come out, definitely want to get it cleaned right before you get, on the market. If you have cracked tiles and it's an older floor, that can be a challenge. If you have several cracked tiles, and there's no matching tile or no spare tiles in your house there to replace those, that can be an issue because I've seen floors where there's like 25 or 30 tiles scattered throughout the house that are very visible, and there's no tile to match it or replace it. And that's a hard one to swallow, only because most buyers that come in and they're paying a good dollar for the house, they're going to have to deal with it. So that's something I would certainly advise getting with a good tile manufacturer, tile company. See if you can match it, but you definitely don't want to mix and match. You don't want to do that because if you try doing that, it makes it worse. So definitely need to get that addressed.
Not only that, but for financing, FHA won't approve a loan with a home that's missing flooring.
Right.
You can't have just concrete with no rug or padding.
That's right.
Or tile or anything else. So that's another big thing you got to consider. If you do want as many buyers as possible, then you have to entertain maybe a VA loan, FHA loans, your conventional, and of course cash.
Correct.
So that's kind of a prerequisite because an appraiser is going to deny that.
Absolutely. Number 4. So this one gets overlooked a lot, and it's just, because we're living in our own homes, and if things work okay, we come in, we pull into our garage, we come home, we cook dinner, do laundry, watch TV or whatever. There's a lot of things in the preventative maintenance category that do get overlooked. So, creating a schedule, if you guys are, happy with your homes and you're living in them, that's great, but create a preventative maintenance schedule and keep these things, up to par on a yearly basis. I'm not going to get in all the details, but there's a lot of preventative maintenance things, and we'll just kind of cover them just to summarize it. But have all these things checked and make sure they're properly functioning and are in good working condition. Repair as needed. Paint, if worn, just paint the wall, or if you can touch it without it being blotchy, then do that. But in most cases, if it's older paint, it's going to have to be repainted, the whole wall. Seal any, and this goes for interior or exterior. And if it's outside, you got stucco, if you got cracks, you don't want to leave those to a home inspector to inspect and then find that and go, there could be water intrusion and things like that. Yeah, just because it's concrete block doesn't mean water can't be driven through the side of a crack. So make sure they're sealed and painted. Doors and windows, make sure they're all working properly. Make sure there's no cracked window panes. Electrical, anything electrical, if it's not working, get it repaired. Plumbing fixtures and connections. Obviously, if you got leaky pipes, faucets not turning on and off properly, you want to get those fixed by a plumbing contractor. irrigation system, you got a sprinkler system out there, and you got sprinkler heads that are busted, not watering the proper direction. You got it hitting the side of the house, staining the house. That's also another cause for some leaks for some houses. If you got cracks in your side of your house and you got a sprinkler system hitting it for 30 minutes at a time, you can be assured that water will eventually get in there. And then your pool system, if you have one, make sure it's all running properly. Make sure the pump is not fully rusted out. Again, these are little things in most cases, but they can add up to be big things for a buyer. And then, of course, landscaping on the outside. If it's in need of attention, obviously weeding and mulching in areas where it's supposed to have mulch. Keep your trees and shrubberies trimmed away from the house. Keeps those pests off the house. Definitely, again, a simple thing, but you'd be surprised how many times I've seen landscaping up against the house and not up to par. And then number 5, this is obviously, you got all these other things properly done, properly working, a deep cleaning, right? Before you go on the market, you want your home to be clean and happy. A clean home is a happy home. You only get one first impression, right? I mean, I don't think anybody can dispute that. You get one first impression. So when that buyer comes through your home, if it's not up to par, that's the impression that they're going to have. That's never up to par. And it might just be an off day. Clean everything from top down, inside and out. If you can't do it yourself, hire a cleaning company that can bring out a team of people. Get it done in a few hours' time. And, something else too. AC ducts, vent returns. I see that a lot. I look up. People do. They look around and look up and you see the return vent. It's covered with dirt and dust. If you have the rest of your house all clean and then you have dirty vents and somebody notices that, again, just consistency. Cleaning and painting are the least costly improvements, believe it or not. And I don't know that you really consider them improvements, but if it's clean and versus dirty, it is an improvement, right?
For sure.
So get those done because they are, in most cases, the least expensive thing you can do, and that shines and it really makes your home look nice. All right.
Yeah, those Mr. Clean erasers.
Yeah.
Or worth
the magic erasers.
Magic eraser. For baseboards that get kicked, there's a lot of little things that people may not look. If you have pets, there may be some rub marks on the corners of walls. Little things like that as well. Buyers will notice. So yeah, definitely freshen up. Definitely spruce up.
Yep, all good stuff there. And again, these are things that I pass along to my sellers, and the ones that follow it to the T, we get top dollar for their home, and we get the home sold usually really, really quickly. And there's little room for home inspection blunders, and that's what you don't want. You don't want anything holding up the sale of your home. So, but for those of you just joining in, thank you for coming on to Steve Talks 321. We've got a couple of people from out of the country here. Michael from Trinidad, Vinny from China. And Michael from Trinidad says, "Go Tigers." Which Tigers? Ez is watching. He says, "King of Clubs." Sees the jacket. Thank you, Steve Thaggart, for sharing the podcast. Appreciate that, as always. And we're actually a third of the way through our podcast. We're talking about, is your home fit to sell? And appreciate you guys joining us. So we're going to get into the next segment here before our break, and it's my top 5 tips that increase your home's resale value. Okay. Now, some of this stuff may be covered in the top 5 fit to sell tips, but there's some differences. So let's go right into it. Flooring. Okay. We talked about that in the fit to sell segment. However, if we're looking to increase the actual resale value, maybe it does have carpet. Maybe it's an area that has carpeting that a lot of people would prefer having either a laminate flooring, a wood flooring, or a tile. That would be a good time. If the carpet's all worn down, it needs to be replaced anyhow. Maybe a good time to reevaluate what type of flooring you're going to put down there. And here's why. If you're in an area in a category where let's just say it's a $250,000, $300,000 category where most homes have solid flooring flowing in the main area of the living room or whatnot. That might be a good thing to evaluate, to have maybe some wood flooring put down or tile, and just redo all of that flooring so it's all one flooring, or a neutral flooring that goes through, and it's what people are looking for. Again, this is something case by case. It's not across the board, but it depends on the neighborhood, the price category you're in, and that's what I do. I evaluate that, and I sit down with people and I say, look, every single one of these homes that have sold in this neighborhood all had tile in this area or wood flooring or whatever. None of them had carpet, so that's a good time to evaluate that. Kitchen is where we spend a lot of time in the house. I think a lot of us cook there.
Right.
Some don't, but even so, if you don't cook a lot there, it's still an attractive showpiece of the home. The kitchen
Right.
is a very important part of the home. Some people just love having a nice kitchen, even if they don't use it. I know some people that don't use their kitchen that much. They don't cook. You open their oven and it's spotless, and like, this thing's never been used. But that's okay, because somebody at some point is going to utilize that. But second to the bedroom, you spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Updated cabinets, quartz counters, granite counters. They're almost expected in today's home buyer market. Along that is updated stainless appliances. Nice appliances. A bowl sink that either has a single bowl or some kind of designer finish, and designer faucets. Those are keys. Some people always are fascinated with soft close, doors and drawers, and that can be case by case. I wouldn't say you need to have that on every single property, but
Right.
again, that's something we would evaluate. Moving on, number 3, master bedroom and bathroom. This is where you spend a lot of time, and in some cases anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a day. That's a large part of the day spent in the master suite. You sleep in there, but more importantly, that's probably the most used bathroom of the house. So it really needs to be sweet. The master suite needs to be sweet. Besides painting and flooring, the bathroom, if it needs to be remodeled, that's a good time to evaluate that. If it's got a lot of worn down grout and finishes in there, that's probably a good time to evaluate how much needs to be done in there. The average bathroom remodel runs in excess of $5,000, and that's for the small bathrooms. So creating a budget is really critical. Go for raised vanity cabinets with granite or quartz. No matter what property it is, I think that's important to have a finished product in the bathroom that has the upgrades. New plumbing fixtures are always nice, and new tile in the shower if it's outdated. Very nice. You have blue tile or pink tile. In most cases, people frown on it. Have 70s, 60s, and 70s style. So there's your master bedroom, bathroom. All right, number 4 and 5. These were mentioned in the fit to sell, but I'll touch on them real quick. The HVAC system, air conditioning, is one of the more expensive items in the house. Definitely the most expensive appliance. If your unit is more than 15 years old, it may be, most likely it's corroded. In Florida, it's probably corroded after about 5 years.
Oh yeah, the exterior unit.
Yeah. Even if running well, and I always say this, some buyers will hesitate to pay top dollar if they think they'll need to expense thousands of dollars for a new AC.
Right.
So contact your AC contractor and see how you can make that look nicer, even if it runs perfect. Get a service done, get it serviced. If it runs perfect and it's just a little cosmetic, get your AC company to service that. This way you have a proof that it was serviced, and so when the buyer comes along, you've got maintenance records.
Yeah. You know what I like, Steve, is the home warranty.
The home warranty, that's right.
Do you recommend that? Because I feel like if you do have appliances that are in their, aging, they're just about expired of their lifespan. So for AC, let's say 15 years is usually where we see them expire. So at the 10 or even 11-year-old AC, there's still some life into it. and they could still be under, a home warranty, which covers up to a certain amount of labor, parts, and something. It's not a manufacturer's,
Right.
warranty or anything else, but at least it helps, and it gives the new buyers, the new owners of the home, a little bit of peace of mind.
Absolutely. But that's home warranty is good. It keeps you from spending thousands of dollars. There's a deductible involved, usually anywhere from $75 to $100.
Right.
They come out if it's minor, that's what it costs you. If it's major, that's what it costs you. So something to evaluate. And I can go over those. If you guys are out there listening, you want to give me a call. We can talk about the different companies because there's a few out there. And last one is roof. Your roof, obviously, if it's 15 to 20 years old, you're not going to get top dollar for your home. Okay.
Right.
There's no two ways about it. It's the single most expensive and important part of the home. So if it's not properly maintained or not replaced, other problems can arise and will arise, and insurance rates could be higher, which makes it less affordable for a buyer. So those are my top 5 tips to increase your home's resale value, and of course the previous top 5 tips for making your home fit to sell. All right. So I am taking questions or comments along the way, but what we're going to do is take a break. We're a little over a halfway mark, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the Virgin train coming through the east coast of Florida and through central Florida a little bit. We're going to touch on that, and we've got a link we can share as well on that. And we'll be back here in about 90 seconds. Thanks for watching Steve Talks 321. Be back.
Hey, this is Trisha Schmalhofer, hostess of BAM, Badasses, Alchemists, and Mystics. This podcast is all about seeking knowledge, talking to experts, changing perspectives, channeling wisdom, and shifting consciousness. Listen as we invite a different badass guest each time from a variety of career fields who are living their purpose, spreading light, giving strength and hope, and changing lives every day. We stream live on Facebook, so like our page, interact with us, and watch the behind-the-scenes action. Find BAM, Badasses, Alchemists, and Mystics on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts under Space Coast Podcast Network. BAM!
You're listening to Space Coast Podcast, home of the greatest podcasts on the Space Coast. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or having your own show, email us at spacecoastpodcast@hotmail.com.
Space Coast Podcast.
Talk hard!
All right, welcome back. Quick 90-second break. You're watching Steve Talks 321 live right now on Facebook Live, but if you're listening on January 15th, you are more than likely listening to it on one of your favorite podcast sites. And we're there. We're there wherever you listen. So if you don't catch the rest of the show tonight, you can listen on your podcast tomorrow. Actually, a little after the show's done, you can listen to it tonight.
Yeah, even tonight it'll be live.
Yep.
And that goes for all of our listeners who are discovering us on Pandora and Spotify and other places. Make sure you tune in. Go to Steve Talks Facebook page, Steve Talks 321. It's easy to search. It'll come up, and then just give us a like. And then if you really want to go for it, add that follow button, or even it's I think a bell icon for notifications, so you get notified every time Steve Talks 321 goes live.
Great tip. Yeah. Thank you, Jesse. All right, so now we're going to touch on one of the hottest topics right now in the whole east coast of Florida and the central part of Florida, and that is the Virgin high-speed train that's coming from South Florida, from the Miami area up through the Palm Beaches, up the Treasure Coast, and through the Space Coast and over to Orlando. So far, 170 miles of track is being laid down. It's already complete now from Miami to West Palm, but they're connecting it up through this way. We see all the construction here in Brevard. We can see the tracks being laid down. I mean, all throughout the downtown Melbourne area, through, down along US 1, and then hooking over. They just cleared all of the brush along 528 there that's heading to Orlando. So it's really rocking and rolling. They're saying, and we have a link that we can put up here. This one is going to be about Melbourne residents being unhappy about Virgin trains coming through here, or not stopping here. But that's, right now we'll talk a little bit more about that. But right now, the plan is to have this completed and running by 2022. I don't really know, if that's on track at this point to be when in 2022. But that's what I'm reading. This is News 13 Orlando Spectrum News. The link. But, drivers in Brevard County should expect, and this is this is a news story, so.
You want to listen to it?
Yeah, let's listen to this.
Formerly known as Brightline, will connect Orlando to West Palm Beach and go all the way down to Miami. Today, News 6's Clay Lepard got a behind-the-scenes look at the high-speed train construction happening now.
Even from above, you still can't get the whole picture of what Virgin Trains is doing throughout the state of Florida.
We're doing it.
News 6 got a first look inside Virgin Trains' new terminal at the Orlando International Airport. When it opens, it will connect Orlando to West Palm Beach and Miami with its high-speed train that tops out at 125 miles per hour. In all, the project is expected to cost $2.5 billion.
We are traversing underneath the 528.
From the $70 million maintenance facility,
Also coming up right here on your left,
to the miles and miles of land being cleared to make way for the tracks. It's part of a goal to get 3 million cars off the road.
Listen, we can't keep on building asphalt.
Patrick Goddard is the president and CEO of Virgin Trains USA.
With 1,000 people moving into the state daily, and 126 million visitors last year, we can't depend on the car. We need alternate mobility solutions, and we think that this is a phenomenal alternative to what's out there.
This is where one of the 55 bridges are being built between here and West Palm Beach. It's all to make room for 170 miles of track. Right now, the airport station is the only one set to go in Central Florida.
Well, this is exciting.
That will likely change.
We would like to see stations every 50, 60 miles. I think that that's feasible. We think that's reasonable for an express train service.
Virgin Trains is also in talks with Disney World and the Space Coast about possible additional stations,
please.
as this stretch is set to open in 2022. Clay Lepard, Getting Results, News 6.
Amazing.
Yeah, cool clip.
It's and I never thought that we had heard about this 15, 20 years ago, a high-speed, a bullet train, they used to call it.
Right.
I never thought in my lifetime I would see it actually happening coming through here.
Right.
Okay. Not to be negative, but I just, it just seemed like it's such a far-fetched thing. Like, how are we going to get everybody, all these counties together and get the monies together? Well, so Richard Branson, Virgin, is making it happen. And I don't think that article, that story there mentioned, but this is going to create over 10,000 construction jobs. Many of them have already started, but there's a lot of good things that are coming from this. In the latest article that came out about Melbourne residents being unhappy that Virgin Train will pass them by, again, this is from what I know, that there was never a stop planned in Brevard, but they are now talking about every 50 to 60 miles. So West Palm Beach has one. Orlando's definitely going to have one. You only, you would think that it only makes sense that, all right, 50 to 60 miles from West Palm Beach puts one somewhere in the Treasure Coast area. Stewart is where one site I heard mentioned. And then the next up from there would be, somewhere in Brevard County.
Well, the logical place would be near the port.
Right. And that makes a lot of sense. Second largest port, and the port is 50 miles from Disney World, right?
Yep.
So it makes a lot of sense. We're not really going to go into any more detail other than that. I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed on what's going on there. But it is, if you guys are out of the area and you're not in Brevard, maybe you're in, Central Florida, North Florida, or West Coast of Florida, you ever get over here, come along, like Pineda Causeway, you can see construction going on there all along US 1 down through Melbourne, and then all along the Beeline there, 528. It's here, it's happening. So I'm excited. I definitely want to hop on it and try it, even if I have to drive to Orlando just to try it.
I'm doing the same thing. I'll drive to Orlando for an hour to avoid the traffic going to Miami.
Yeah.
And like you said, it was a foreign concept. Now, down in South Florida, especially, Miami, they got the Metro Rail, which is an elevated train that goes kind of like over the city. And then they also have between Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties, the Tri-Rail, which is a commuter train that goes back and forth, but only through those 3 counties. And so for all of us up here, it's kind of like no man's land. Like, you have to get in your car and you have to drive to where you need to go.
Right.
And now we're going to be able to, we could drive an hour to the airport. Imagine this, and let's just say knowing Richard Branson, he's probably going to have a luxurious beverage cart train,
Have you heard about the new cruise line he has?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing.
So we're booked to go on that in July. Right?
Oh, this year?
Yeah, the Scarlet Lady.
Oh, wow.
They start setting sail in February. So we're going to be, not one of the first ones, but we'll be, a few months into it.
Whatever it is. I mean, that's super
Adults
exciting.
only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, just think, you could sit in a beverage car and relax, and in 3 hours you're there. No stress,
That's right.
No traffic. You're avoiding standstills and accidents and everything else that comes with being in a vehicle, and you're just cruising at 100 miles an hour, man. I mean,
And let's just say, you're in South Florida, right? And,
Yeah.
they have 2 cruise ports down there, Fort Lauderdale and Miami. Let's just say it's convenient enough for them to hop on a train and cruise out of Port Canaveral.
right.
What's wrong with that?
Absolutely nothing, man. That would be super if we could just drive to Port Canaveral and get to Port Everglades in an hour and a half, 2 hours. Already starting to enjoy our vacation and relax. Wink, wink. Maybe have a couple fireballs, and and you walk off. The train, and you whether it's a taxi or other shuttle or whatever they have available for the cruise patrons to take you to Port Everglades and get yourself on the boat.
Yeah, and you know what else is down there near Port Everglades is the Seminole, the Hard Rock, the Guitar Hotel.
Oh, the casino, yeah, new.
Oh my God,
guitar. Yeah.
it's beautiful. So we're actually looking at booking that for New Year's this coming year.
Well,
Yeah.
You better let me know when you guys are going to book that.
I'm letting you know.
Yeah.
They're looking at the 28th, I think it is. 28th or 29th. I think it's 29th. 29th, 30th, 31st. So we're going to stay like 3 nights because I don't think I think we went online and they won't let you stay less than 3 nights.
Yeah.
At least in advance they won't, like
But
booking it.
you're not going to leave New Year's Eve.
New Year's Day.
You're going to leave the 1st. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So you stay the 29th, 30th, and 31st. That's what it is.
Okay, check out the 1st. Okay.
Check out the 1st. Yep. So that's what we're planning. So we'll keep you posted on that. We don't have any comments or questions other than the few that we had, unless my feed is not up to par here.
No, that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
But
we have a really fun something new that we're going to do every show, and it's going to be a little game show, a little trivia towards the last 10 minutes or so. So I'm actually going to test Jesse here. It would if I had my other special guest here, I would put them on the spot, but next week. So we're gonna so you out there, Jessica, listening, you're gonna be on next week. Jessica Lynn Silva, she's gonna be on next week, special guest. But yeah, I'm gonna put Jesse to the test here.
Uh-oh.
It's basically an IQ test. So you guys want to follow along? Of course, if you're listening to the rebroadcast, you can just follow along. But if you guys want to follow along, that you're watching live and you want to comment and all that, great. Follow along. All right, Jesse, I'm going to grade you here, and then we'll come back and then we'll go over all the answers.
Okay.
All right, true or false? Apples originated from South America.
False.
Okay. Next question. Paella is a traditional Spanish dish.
I want to say true.
Okay. Next one. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain.
True.
All righty. Next one. Los Angeles is the most populous city in the U.S.
In the U.S., is that true? I'll say true.
All right. Next one. The sum of all the numbers on a roulette wheel is 666.
I'll take your word for it. True.
That's not my word. That's just the
Right.
That's just the. All right. Jupiter, the planet Jupiter, makes up around 99.8% of the mass of the solar system.
Wow.
That's true or false?
Oh yeah. No, the mass of the solar. No, because the sun would be included in the solar system, right? But the sun is gas, not mass. Oh man, it's confusing. I'm just gonna say false because I haven't said false
All right.
in a while.
Okay. All right. And last one. About 5% of the body of a jellyfish is solid matter. The rest is water.
5%? That sounds about right. I'll say true.
All righty. Okay. Now we're going to come back and we're going to see how Jesse did here.
Uh-oh.
Drum roll, please. All right. Here we go. First one. Apples originated from South America, and Jesse said false. The correct answer is false. Correct.
All right.
The tree originated in Central Asia, where its wild ancestor is still found today.
That's what I thought.
All right, next one. Paella is a traditional Spanish dish. Jesse said true. The correct answer is true.
All right.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
All right. You're 2 for 2 so far. All right. Next one. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. Jesse said true. The correct answer is true.
All right. I got that one right.
He's 3 for 3, man. He's on a roll. All right. Here we go. Los Angeles is the most populous city in the U.S. Jesse said true. Correct answer is false.
Oh,
New York City is the most populated.
That was the only wild card. The only thing that kept me from doubting myself was the area of Los Angeles. Like Orange County is like from the size of Miami to Orlando. I mean, it's just like a super.
It's definitely a Los Angeles geographically, in size. It's definitely bigger. But you're doing good. All right, next one. The sum of all numbers on a roulette wheel is 666. Now, I didn't even know the answer to this one.
No.
But that is actually true. Jesse said true. The answer is true.
I figured it was too random.
Kind of random, right?
It was too random.
Like, wow.
I can't. I'm not going to sit here and prove it wrong.
Right.
I mean, the sum of all numbers on a roulette wheel. Man, that's a good one.
That is a good one. All right, the planet Jupiter makes up around 99.8% of the mass of the solar system. Jesse said false. Correct answer is false. The sun makes up for 98 to 99% of the solar system. So good. And I remember you were just kind of rehashing, going through that, and you said no, the sun's got to be. So good on you for that. And last one, about 5% of the body of a jellyfish is solid matter. The rest is water. And Jesse said true. Correct answer is true.
All right.
All right. So you got.
I'm not doing bad at this trivia
3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 out of 7 correctly.
Hey.
So your IQ is very good. I give him a very good 9 out of 10 IQ. How's that?
I like it. I appreciate that. That was fun.
Yeah. So
I
if
hope-
you guys are watching or listening, there's probably a couple things in there you didn't know, right? Absolutely. Like, Los Angeles, the roulette wheel. I mean, those are kind of tricky, right?
Yeah, it was random. Although as soon as you said is the apple from South America, and then the very next question was, is the paella origin? I'm like, wait, is this like a South American theme trivia? And I must have gotten the first one wrong. But no, I knew apples were of Asian orientation, so I wasn't fooled on that one.
No. But those are fun little things. We're gonna include that in the show. Nice little 5-minute, 7-minute trivia game, just fun. And if you guys are listening out there on your favorite podcast site, feel free to visit my Facebook page at Steve Talks 321, and you can watch it live there. You can watch it recorded video stream. You can see us in the studio.
Yeah.
You can kind of put a face to the name, and share it with your friends. If you have a topic or any ideas of any local, topics or businesses here in Brevard County, you want to send them my way, please do. You can reach me out on Facebook, Steve Talks 321. We've got a show next week. We've got Jessica Lynn Silva coming on. She's a local attorney here. She's an estate planner. She also handles probate, wills, trusts. So we'll have a really good show, very educational, informative show. So if you're out there and you're thinking about, this is on my New Year's resolution. At some point, we've been wanting to do this. We've been putting it off for years. Now's the year. You might want to listen to this show. There's going to be some really good topics on there on holding, how to hold, real estate property and title, and the different titles you can hold and how they may affect you. Wills, trusts, things like that. So she's gonna be on next week.
All good topics.
Yeah, great topics.
Yeah, some people don't know the power of a trust. When somebody passes, and even a will can still be, in probate, and you pretty much give the attorneys an opportunity to try to accommodate everybody. But a trust is the absolute. It's so powerful. You don't really need an attorney to assemble everybody and distribute things. A trust holds everything for the beneficiaries of that trust. So it's a very powerful way to convey property and even wealth.
But some people still do retain an attorney for very complex. They can if 30 years pass or whatever 5 years.
Right.
You get all that done and you put it away and now you need it. It's always great to call that attorney that put that together for you, and they can obviously guide you through it and help you through that. So that's going to be a great show coming up.
We'll have to get some trivia questions regarding wills and trusts and fun stuff, and we'll quiz Jessica. So you've been warned.
I'll
girl.
check with her on that one. No, I like the random trivia.
Right.
We'll put together some things like that. Just kind of keeps it, mixes it up, keeps it fun. But we've got, we're coming up on the NFC, AFC Championship football weekend. We've got some good stuff. Tomorrow, here's some weather news. We're going to even throw weather into this mix here. Tomorrow, we're supposed to dip down into the 30s here. Jesse, did you know that?
I had no idea.
We were in the 70s today, and we're going to dip down to the 30s tomorrow.
That's why it was so crappy outside today.
Yeah.
The cold front.
So you guys bundle up out there tomorrow. Get your chili meats. Get your get your firewood and bundle up. It's gonna be chilly here tomorrow in Florida. Most of Florida, I think it's gonna get pretty chilly. So
yeah, I gotta make it chilly.
Yeah, but got Super Bowl coming up. Gonna be hosting from a 3-year hiatus. Got a Super Bowl party coming up.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Looking forward to that, and we've got some special things planned for that day. I'm already starting to prepare for it, so looking forward to that. But we've got about perfect timing. We've got about a minute left. I see some people just hopping on. If you guys are just hopping on, you can watch the recorded stream of this after we're done. It'll be back on Facebook, and then of course, audio is on your favorite podcast. You go to Space Coast Podcast and then just search the shows, and you'll see me here. It's episode 8 at Steve Talks 321, and today's show was called "Is Your Home Fit to Sell?" We also talked about, we had some other things here, non-related, non-real estate related, non-business related. We talked about this day in history, but my 5 top tips for getting your home fit to sell, and then of course my 5 top tips for best repairs for resale value. So all good stuff, and I hope it helped you out if you're listening and watching. As always, you can give me a call, 321-749-9394, or follow me on Steve Talks 321 on Facebook. So that's a wrap for this show, Jesse. And
awesome.
We appreciate all you guys watching, your support out there. Episode 8 is a wrap in the books, and we'll see you next week at 7 p.m. again. And we're going to have Jessica Lynn Silva on, attorney, talking real estate, probates, and how to hold title, trust, wills, all that good stuff. So look forward to seeing you guys then. Have a great week. Bundle up tomorrow. Weather's going to be cold.
Good night, Steve.
Peace out, guys.